Marvel's Avengers news. I have recently completed the Heroic Hive Gauntlet, and I actually played on Challenge Level 1. Miss Marvel is my only character that is able to take part in that mission. So if I were to lose one time, or get knocked out with her, that would basically be the end of the chain. And I completed this, I believe, on Saturday. I started to upload the last section of it, the 8th wave, but I figured since I already didn't record any of the other stuff, I'd just instead do a video on whatever exotics I got. And lucky for me, I actually got 2 melee rating based exotics, and the perks on them are very good. I do feel like one of them is more of a trade-off with what your playstyle is. It doesn't seem to me like every exotic is going to be better than your legendary or perhaps an epic that you're still holding on to, in terms of stats and perks, which brings in the RNG and farming element to it. But the first piece I want to talk about is the actual melee rating gear, or melee gear slot one, and the Storm Ranger's Nega Bands. Now, after maxing this out and putting it on, I was upset to find out that my Jarvis barrier bands actually gives me more melee rating. As you can see, I'm at 3,243 with it on, and I dropped significantly whenever I put the exotic one on. And it is giving me might, it's also giving me proficiency. I'm still getting electric damage from my melee attacks. I'm losing out on my Embiggen modifier, and that's a big one for me, because Embiggen gets you out of so many tight spots. You can get so much damage off. I feel like it's one of the best things to have in our perks. If you could have it more than once, that's awesome. If you only have it once, that works too. But to have it like not at all, I think I have it on another piece of gear. No, I don't actually. So if I don't wear those barriers, then I don't have it at all. So I'm not willing to trade this off. Plus I'm losing 200 miter, somewhere around there. I do think this would be decent, however, if you didn't have the Jarvis barrier bands, because you're still getting increased status damage from polymorph attacks, and you're going to be polymorphing whenever your intrinsic meter's full and whenever you feel like you need it, whether you're taking out a Dreadbot, Adaptoids, fighting Abomination or Taskmaster. Like, the intrinsic polymorph combo attacks are her heaviest damage output whenever you are going full melee. So, but yeah, I'm gonna keep sticking with my Jarvis barrier bands to keep my melee rating like as high as it is. I'm trying to see if I can break 3,300. I'm gonna have to get an exotic for my range gear for me to be able to do so. The one I got, I believe I got this one from the Tachyon mission, and of course it gave me resilience and valor, more of a tanky heroic type of build, which is not what I'm going for, but I am going to hold on to it just in case I ever want to experiment with it later. In my earlier runs of Last Avengers Standing, I received 2 of the same Marvelous body armors, which are very good tank pieces. If you ever do go tank Kamala and you're looking for them, these are for you. You can see that 200% increased willpower regeneration from the healing spirit, which is insane. But yeah, this is what you would look for if you were tank. But the other DPS piece that I got, I'm actually wearing it, is for my defense gear, and it only boosted me up, I believe, 2 points, because this is what I used to wear, the reactive protection vest. However, what makes this exotic one that much better, to the point where I'm not going to be using this reactive protection vest anymore, is because one of the passives is the Jarvis barrier. And up here I already have the the barrier bans from melee attacks and me critting. So I'm always going to be, not always proccing the barrier for my melees, but it happens a good bit of the time. But now with this defense hive mind tunic, I can do a perfect evade and also get a barrier. And I've seen when I was fighting, I was on the villain sector fighting Abomination, and he went to attack me. I already had my barrier up, he bursted it out. I perfect dodged and it came right back up. Now that's lucky, you know, there's a chance that it might not happen like that, but by wearing this, you're increasing the chances of you being invulnerable. On top of that, I already have my old Optimus badge that gives me invulnerability anyway. So I'm basically have 3 pieces of gear that are going to offer me invulnerability to some extent, which is insane. If only I could find something similar for my range gear, that would make, like, I guess that'd be the best build I think you could have perk wise for a full melee build. You gotta run invulnerability, defense buffs, or shields, because let's face it, you're a glass cannon. So you can see my defense rating is 693. If I get hit on challenge level 4, usually I go down instantly. However, there's ways to outplay a lot of the attacks, and that's how I prefer to, you know, go about playing this game. But yeah, the hive mind tunic is a must get exotic. Keep doing those heroic gauntlets. The Tachyon mission also has a chance to drop it. I believe this also drops in Last Avengers Standing as well. But yeah, this one is definitely the defense gear for her right now. Combining this with your barrier bands, you're going to have so much fun going in for those crazy multi-kills with your in big end abilities, or just with your polymorph attacks. But yeah, that's pretty much it, just those 2 exotics. I hope whenever it resets this week, I'll be fortunate enough to get at least 1 more piece. I'm hoping to see an exotic for the heroic gear section, because this is the only gear piece that I haven't seen any exotic for yet, not even in a tank roll. I haven't deleted any exotics I received. I've only received 5 at this point, the 2 defensive ones plus this 3rd one for DPS, and then this ranged one and the melee one right here. But yeah, I don't think exotics are to the point where they're leaving this insane gap between legendary and epic, because I haven't found anything to really replace this epic out of the legendary stuff, and I have tried to level up pieces of gear to go beyond it, and it just hasn't worked out in that way for me. They'll usually end up close to breaking even, or instead they'll be a lot lower, and I'm not really sure why it's like that. Because that's the reason why I'm still using this purple heroic piece of gear, because all the legendaries that I've found have been dropping my stat, and that I'm not trying to go for. And that was the same thing for my ranged gear, and the same thing for the melee. I've leveled up a few pieces, and they all drop it each time. I also held on to these pieces of gear just in case the old glitch that was happening. I'm pretty sure it's patched out now. Whenever people's gear was disappearing from their inventory or from their locker, so I held on the extra stuff. Anything that was giving me might. But yeah, guys, as always, like, comment, and subscribe for more Marvel's Avengers content. I'm looking forward to the Kate Bishop drop. I believe I'm going to try to take her either a full precision route or precision and proficiency, because I'm looking forward to making a ranged character now that I've basically got my feet wet with a might-based character with insane melee rating. So yeah, that's all, guys. I will see you in the next one.